it is important for this calls to be made in sincerity. You are the leader of the country, commander-in-chief. You do not keep the opposition away. You do not fail to invite them. You do not fail to include them. And then when it's time for ceremonial speeches, you come and call for national unity, national cohesion. It's hypocritical. And it is not a call born out of sincerity. When the president even claims, for example, that e-levy has been passed, he knows that e-levy has not been passed. That is a very insincere claim. A few days ago, the president was praising the Supreme Court for enforcing Article 1041, that you need 138 members to take a decision. And so when 137 of us said we are rejected a budget on the 20th of November last year, it cannot hold. He praised the Supreme Court to the high heavens. So if 137 cannot reject the budget, how can 136 claim to have passed the e-levy? So you see, the calls are not made out of sincerity. We see in other jurisdictions, take President Biden, when he really wanted to work together with the opposition, he invited them over. His infrastructure plan, he asked them for their ideas, their vision for the country, how they want it to look finally. And he was able to take their input and implement what became a collective agenda. That has been lacking. When they returned from the Pediasi retreat, they put out information that they were going to engage in broad-based consultations. Those broad-based consultations was without the minority. They totally ignored us. So it's not born out of sincerity. And I think that the president has to be told to walk the talk. The president is still conducting himself as though he has the numbers, as though Ghanaians, voted massively and convincingly with a comfortable majority for him. That's not the case. Ghanaians in the 2020 elections voted for power sharing. If you look at the numbers, 137, for the first time we have a speaker who is not from the president's party. So Ghanaians have voted for power sharing. And that mindset of winner takes all must change. The president must descend from his high horses and accept that, look, the only way we can move this country forward is when we come together. And it must be born out of sincerity. It has to be a genuine effort to, as it were, bring all sides together. I must also emphasize that I was disappointed that the president failed to talk about corruption. Look at the Auditor General's report. Over 12 billion cedis is lost to corruption, malfeasance, misappropriation. Thievery, basically, that's what it is. The president failed to talk about that very terrible demolition of the Bulgarian embassy. They appointed a sole inquirer. They said the sole inquirer had 7 days to report to them. That's 7 days. If you want to, this was done on the 19th, but let me be charitable and say that they are using working days. If you use working days, that ends yesterday, close of yesterday, the 29th. How is it that the president fails to talk about the work of the sole inquirer, fails to assure the diplomatic community, who were here in their numbers, that what happened to the Nigerian High Commission, what not happened to the Bulgarian embassy, largely by agents, assigns, appointees of his, cronies of the president, will not happen again. And that the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, 1961, will be respected. And that the inviolability of diplomatic embassies will be respected. The president conveniently kept quiet on that matter. And you hear the president still talking about coups, and that some people are threatening coups. Who is threatening coups? Look,
do you feel that he was directing it at the minority?
Look, it's clear to me that the president has become paranoid. A clear message must be sent to the president that it is not those who are saying that, look, if you don't manage this economy well, see what has happened in other countries in the sub-region, where the youth have taken to the streets, jubilating, happy that governments have been toppled. If you want to avoid that, govern properly, stop the corruption, stop the mismanagement. Those who make these calls are not the bad guys. It is those who are mismanaging this economy, those who are engaged in the open thievery, the massive corruption, the plundering, of state resources. They are the bad guys. They are the people that the president must check. And the president must bring this country back on the path of progress, the path of real development. Look, don't joke with the economic crunch, the hardships. You are experiencing it. We are experiencing it. Look at petrol prices have gone up by about 66%. Look at inflation. Look at the currency, the depreciation. So look, these are real issues that are biting the Ghanaian people, that the Ghanaian people are reeling under, excruciating economic hardships that cannot be underestimated. So I expected that the president will have presented a blueprint, a master plan, to transform the country, to help bring the people out of this hardship. But it's clear that the lame duck president he is, coming to the end of his tenure, he really has no clue, he has no ideas, and we can only pray that the good Lord will come to our rescue. This is a really tragic situation, a very hopeless situation we find ourselves under this current president.